Hey everyone, how are you? It is April the 1st, 2024. Thank you for joining me. Today we are going to be reviewing some charts, and I know I've had a couple of requests on the pivot points and the midlines, so I'm just going to start that off really quick. So, right now, what we're going to do is I already have the pivot points. These are just standard pivot points from TradingView, and you can pick out colors, but people have been wanting to see how I draw the midlines on these. So I take my trend line and I start from one of the solid lines down to the other. Okay. And the next thing you want to do is you go into your settings on that. Under style, you hit the middle point right there, and it's going to put that little dot in there. But when you click off of it, it disappears. But when you hover over it, you see it. So you then pick your horizontal ray tool, and you just kind of estimate where you want to go. And I do have templates on these, so I'm in the red area of the pivots, which is the resistance. So I have that color coded in red. Okay, and I'm right on that midline of that vertical line. So that's how you draw that in. So once that's in, then I hit the lock button right here and it locks it. So this way, if I'm in the chart and if I accidentally try to drag the chart and if I click the midline, it won't move from my chart. Okay? I'll do another one real quick. So I'll pick my trend line. I'll go from the solid line to the solid line. Okay? And then I will pick my horizontal ray and I will estimate around the middle. This is a little down, so let me see if I can move this up a little bit. And I'm right there. Okay? And I will go to the template area and pick the red thick line. The reason I do that, even though it was the red thick line, is that at the end I have the word midline as part of the template. This way, people know it's the midline. And then I just lock that onto the chart. So why are these midlines important? Because they work really great as support and resistance. I forgot to erase this. Here we go. They work really great as support and resistance. Like you can see right here as an example, from today's chart, as price was going up, it went past the resistance 2. It's the R2 line right here, but it went right up to the midline between the R2 and the R3. So it's a good visual to see that. So when price, hits these, it's a high probability that it can also reverse, especially if you see a little bit of consolidation right here. So, and I know during the open, price usually, just pretty volatile. It shoots right up, and in this case, it stopped right on the midline, and price shot right down. So this is why I like drawing these midlines, in place here. So, even right here in the green area, I'm just gonna just draw one here real fast, just to show you something. So if you hold your shift key, it keeps the line straight as you move it. So I'm going to grab the horizontal ray, draw that in, and I need to move this up a little bit. Kind of about right, maybe a little bit more, about right there. Doesn't have to be exact. It's just more of a visual placement. And this is the green thick line. There we go. I'm going to lock it into place and then delete this line right here. So here it is once again. As price is coming down, price is going past the support 1 pivot, and it's almost near the midline. Price went back up, and then it came right down to it where it's got a nice divergence and, bounces up. So it's good to have them on. I like using them. They are on my chart. I know many people in our Discord have them on their charts and they do like them, but I've got a couple requests to show how I draw them. So this is it. If you have any more questions about the midlines, you can always leave a message, or information is at the bottom of the YouTube information area there, so you can leave a message and contact me there. All right, so today, Monday, we have this is the 2-minute chart of the NQ. So right here, you can really see price, from the London session, just coming down. And this is what I really like. I really love seeing this. Okay, this is just like the perfect setup, and I've said it so many times. You've got that perfect sequence where you've got VWAP, I've got my 200 EMA cloud, and then my 3 EMAs. They are all fanned out right here, red, orange, and teal. So right here, this makes the perfect recipe as, for price to go down. So, and on top of that, here you had a golden zone. So once you see price, the EMAs fanning out, or if there was even a divergence in here, then you can take that. But what I like about this too is that, you got this pullback. So even though there's not a signal right here, and that just depends on the sensitivity of the signals. I have mine set right now at 176. So if I had a lower sensitivity, then there would be more signals here, but this is good. So at this point, I mean, you can see on the TSI, once the TSI even crosses over, you can take on that trade and get some really good points, coming down. So, but my setting's at 176, so I like to, wait for a signal. But, this would have been a good one to take on as well. Here it is coming again. Price is bouncing right up, right into the EMAs. And then right here I have a golden signal. And then you can take that going down. So reason I would take this right here too is that there is a hidden bearish divergence right here, and that is for those who are not familiar with divergences, I talk about them a lot on Discord as I show some example of my trades. And right here, this is price making a lower high, and your oscillator, which you can see right here, this is the TSI, it's making a higher high. So it's doing the opposite here, and I'll just change the color of those so you know which ones I'm using for this specific divergence. And then you get your golden signal, and you can come on down and get some points right before the New York Open, which is this green bar. So, and then right here, this purple horizontal, that's the main pivot point. So it's really nice because you're at the pivot, and then what do I see here? Once you see your next signal is another bullish divergence right here. So I like to take these trades once I see the signal. Once I see the signal coming on, or you can wait for the signal, because it's always good to wait for the candle to close. But sometimes I just, I know it's a really great divergence, and I have confirmation on all 3 oscillators down here that the momentum is shifting to the upside. So I will take that, and you can take it to market structure, or to the next pivot point up here, or if you have a certain risk to reward, you can do that. But in this case, it went right up to that midline. So when I see the next signal, I like to check to see if there was a divergence trade on here, and I don't see one according to this on the 2 minute time frame. What I'm going to do real fast is I'm going to go down to a 1 minute time frame because I like to switch back and forth, and I'd like to see if there is a divergence in here. So let me just zoom in a little bit. Right in here, and we've got, this is like quite a bit going on right here. It's almost like a quadruple top right here, so this is the high peak right here, so this goes down a little bit. So even on the 1 minute, I don't see that divergence in there, but the really cool thing about this is even if I'm on the 1 or the 2 minute, I've showed this little trick before, is that, okay, here we get the signal, and if you see the momentum of the oscillators here, it's all going down, okay? Even right here on the TSI, it's all going down, and right down here on my third oscillator, this was already down in the red zone area, so it's already underneath, just let me know that price is shifting to the downside. So here it is, and this just really dumped today pretty good. So I'm sorry I didn't mention this was the TTM squeeze down below. So what I like to do is on here, and you guys can back test this. So if I have all my oscillators pointing in the same direction as price is also pointing down, is moving down, it's making a lower high, then you can take this trade and once again manage your risk to reward that way. So what also happens over here now is we have that nice transition area right here, okay? So when you see another pullback, in this case, this is more of like a little retracement, it's a little pause in the market, it's a good area to enter the trade right in here too. So the confluences for this here as well is that the ultimate oscillator right here is under the zero line that you can see here, and the TSI is also underneath the zero line, and already the TTM squeeze is under the zero line too, so this would be another great area to enter that trade. Once you see that pullback, in this case it's a retracement, if there is no signal, that's another way to get into the trade. But a lot of times you will see a greater pullback like how I showed you over here, and then price continues down. So this is another strategy that you can use in taking trades. So once again, we have that really nice sequence right here where we have VWAP, which is the purple line. I have my 200 EMA cloud, and then the EMAs are all fanned out. So you have really nice area where to enter the trade and get out at market structure and or at the pivot point area. I also like to mark the charts based on what was happening to the left. So from right here, this was from last week, I'm just going to move this, just going across so you can really see what's happening right here, and you can even stretch this all the way out because sometimes these zone areas are really nice markers for future price as it moves along the chart. So you can go further back and you can see if there are any other zones right here. So right over here, it's a really nice area. There's a lot going on, some good zones right here. So, even moving that out this way, you can really see in today's chart how this zone was pretty close, right even to the midpoint So even right here, we had a nice bullish divergence right here. And you can see on the oscillator of the TSI, it's doing the opposite. And, one way I like to see if there is a divergence also is when I get my Oracle signal, my trading Oracle signal right here. So I have an alert set to these signals. So once that pops up, what happens then is I look at the chart, because you don't have to stare at your chart all day, unless you want to for, situations like this where there's not a little signal right here. So when this happens right here, I look to see where I am on the chart. I check out my zones, I see my midlines, and I see that there's a divergence, and I will enter a trade based off of that. Okay, so even after this is a nice back-to-back divergence also, because look what's happening here. Okay, remember, this is a nice reversal divergence, but price is still under that VWAP, under that 200 EMA, and the sequence of the EMAs, the bias is showing a downside still. Okay, so these are really nice reversal divergences, especially when your bias is still going down to the downside, and you're above VWAP. I mean, you're below VWAP and your 200 EMA. So right here is a really nice bearish divergence, and I even have templates when I mark these for you. So you see here bearish divergence, and you can see it right on, oops, there we go. Oops, sorry guys. You can see it right on the ultimate oscillator, right here. So price is giving me higher highs, and the shift in momentum on the oscillator is shifting down. It's a lower low. Not getting that on the TSI, but I am getting it on the TTM squeeze right here. So, I only need to see divergence on one of these three oscillators, but if there's more, it just adds to the confluences right here. So once you spot that, then you can wait for the TT, or not TTM, the trading Oracle signal, and then you can enter. So for instance, if you're trading the NQ and you entered, roughly about in here, and you're taking this down, so even at 35 points, trying to get that, okay, 36 points. Now remember, NQ is $20 a point, so we have 36 points times 20. This is a $720 trade on one contract. Okay, so remember, we saw some really nice divergences in here that you can enter your trade. We had the pullback sequence strategy is what I call that, and I'll do another video on that where we can concentrate on these specifically. Even if you had entered on these, getting into a price range, let's just say you got in here, even if you did go right up to the pivot point, that's 50 points right there. That's $1,000 trade on one contract. Okay, and we didn't even count what this was, but I mean, just look, between this and this, you're at $1,400 or $1,700, my fault, in in profit. So it's really good to learn these patterns and look at different patterns in the market, because we do see these patterns over and over again. And like I said before, even on and around the New York Open, you do get a lot of nice divergences in here. Sometimes it's a little bit before, half of it can start right at the London session in here, and then the other half will end up, right after the New York Open. So in this case, this was right before the Open. It's a really nice trade to take. In this case, sometimes you will see a nice divergence at the top also. In this case, it wasn't, but I showed you this little trick with the arrows. So let's move on. I just want to show you, this was Friday. Friday was just like a range day. It was just, I'm not a big fan of ranges, especially if the range is narrow and you just can't really get good trades in here. So it's nothing much really going on in there. But I want to show you guys SPY. I know a lot of you guys trade SPY. And let's see what was happening today on the SPY chart. So pre-market right over here, you can see that there is a nice bullish divergence right here. You can see that. Let me just mark that for you. So if you wait for your trading oracle signal right here, you can take it, but that's as high as it went. Sometimes it is what it is, even though we had the perfect entrance in here to, take a nice trade. But what was happening is, look at this. Price went right up to the 200 EMA. It went right into the EMAs. I meant to say the 200 EMA cloud went right into the EMAs and right on VWAP. So this would have been, if you had gotten in, maybe could have gotten some points, but hopefully noticed that, you're right into where you're going to be turning to go right back to the other end. So, and plus the EMA bias, once again, is to the downside. So you could have maybe not taken this trade and then just wait to see what would happen, if price action is reversing to the downside and you get these signals. I mean, I've seen this sort of a setup before, and sometimes price pushes up a little bit higher before it goes right back down because of the volatility. I guess in this case, not much was really happening. This could have even been some, a little bit of manipulation right here, and the market makers just really wanted to take this to the downside. So, once again, even right here in pre-market, you can really see the changing of the guard, as I like to say sometimes. Price was going up and is transitioning to the downside right here, and then you get that pullback. So if you entered it's pre-market, and then you could have gotten a few points right here. So it happened here again. You have your golden signal. So once again, I like to look for a divergence trade. And I'm just going to remove this. And we do have a nice reversal divergence. It's a nice bearish divergence, and it's perfect because it's going to the downside and it is following the bias of the indicators right here. So, and this is where you can see it happening. Oops, let me just put this down a little bit. There we go. You can see it right here as the oscillator, the momentum is shifting to the downside. As price here is making a higher high, it's doing the opposite, and you can take this trade and have a nice bearish divergence right in here. So, and I don't see it anywhere else, not even on the TTM squeeze. So, but this is perfect. All I got to see it as on one. So you can enter your trade and then you can plan your exit once again. So by doing that, you can look in the past and see where market structure was really hitting and was really active. Even in here, you had some really nice structure. It didn't quite hit that right there, but it did go right to the support 1 pivot point right in there. So once that happens, here you can wait for another signal to come out, and you can see it right here. So once I see that signal, once it alerts me, then I check to see if there is a nice divergence in play, and there usually is on these reversals. It's a nice bullish divergence. You can see that right there, and also on the TTM squeeze, it's moving up. I don't see the shift on the ultimate oscillator, but 2 out of 3 here is really good. And since we are near market structure here too, we are on a pivot point, then you can enter your trade. And be careful, because here now you are going against the trend. Okay, so get some good points, really nice scalps in here, and exit the trade. So what happens after that? Okay, price is going right into the EMAs, and we got that really nice sequence where we have the 200 EMA cloud, VWAP, the red, orange, and teal color sequence. That tells me the bias is going to the short side. And once again, I'm going to check for divergence once I see my signal, and we do have it right here. You can see price is moving it's going higher high, and the ultimate oscillator is starting to shift to the downside right here. But you can really see it on the TTM squeeze here too, how it shifted to the downside. So you can enter your trade, and you can exit at market structure right here. Okay, so this is really cool to learn the patterns. These are patterns that you will see on your chart daily. You can back test any asset you want to trade, and we can see another example. We will go to, actually, you know what, let's go to the Russell 2000. I know there's 1 or 2 people that trade this on our Discord, so let's see what's happening on Russell over here. So actually, this is like really, really nice, the way how the EMAs are just cascading just all the way down. It's like a waterfall. I mean, this is like a beautiful setup right here today for Russell, the Russell 2000. So look at this. Look at this beautiful sequence right here. You have the VWAP, you've got the cloud, and you've got the red, orange, and teal. Okay, and this started even way over here. So there was a transition that was happening right in here. Let me just circle that. That was happening right here. Okay, it was going long, and then it transitioned to the downside. So this is what I was saying. It's transitioning, it's going down, and then it pulls back. So right after that pullback, I call this the pullback sequence strategy. Sequence because you will get that nice VWAP, cloud, and EMA sequence in the proper color form right here, and you can take that trade. So another thing to do is, even if you were going to take the trade right here, is I still like to see if there is a divergence for a hidden bearish divergence, and here it is. Here it is, folks. I mean, I'm not making this stuff up. This is stuff that is visible to the chart every day. Similar patterns or same patterns right here. And you can really see it right here too on the ultimate oscillator. You can see that right here on the TSI. And let me just zoom in a little bit or stretch this up a little bit. and you can also see it right here on the TTM squeeze. So here we even have three confirmations, and you got your nice golden signal on. It's a slingshot golden signal, and you can take that trade going all the way down to market structure, or you can manage it per your trading plan. Okay. Um, Next, price is pulling back once again right in here, and this is a very strong trend because what I can see here is the spacing in between the EMA bands has become greater. So you know that price is really strong right here to the downside. You're going to wait for your signal, and once again, I'm going to wait to see if there is another hidden bearish divergence, and here we have it again. We have it right here. Okay, you can see that that's the start, and you can see it once again on your ultimate oscillator. It even shows it on your TSI, and it even shows it on your TTM squeeze. So once again, we have three confirmations on the oscillators right here. And I mean, look at this. This is like really nice sequence. VWAP, the cloud, red, orange, and teal in that nice sequence. And you can continue on to the trade. So for those who are trading the Russell 2000, if you were trading, earlier in the morning, and got in at this area, you had some really nice opportunities in here. And then look at this thing. This thing just dumped like there's no tomorrow, right? Even at the New York Open. So even if you went from there to there, which is still some pretty good profit, you're getting some more golden signals right in here. So I start the cycle once again. I'm going to see if there is a divergence trade in here. Okay, so and there is. So I just like to mark them. So this is going down. I'll do this one in a blue color so you can see it. That's going down this way, and on the TTM, this looks like it's equal highs or just a tad higher on this side, and also right on the ultimate oscillator right here, this is shifting to the upside. So it's doing the opposite. 2 out of the 3 oscillators right here, but the bias right here is just really strong, and then you can just take that trade going down. So you really had like triple back-to-back divergences right in here, and right into the open. You're already at the main pivot point where price right here is pausing in the market. The bias is still strong right here. There's a really nice separation in the EMAs, and just took a quick pause, and once again just continued to go down. So even between this area to this area, I'm still, you can still check for a divergence. And check this out. I mean, these are like one right after the other. So here it's making the pullback right in here, but look at this. Even on the TTM squeeze, it's doing the opposite right here. Not really seeing it too much on the TSI, and not seeing it right here on the ultimate oscillator, but the TTM squeeze, it's good enough for me, and you can enter the trade right here when you get your bearish candle, and the TSI has the crossover going down, and then you can gain more points. But as you can see, price was just underneath VWAP, the whole day right here, and you could have gotten in right here, but at some point the trend will reverse to go up and or consolidate right here before price moves up. Okay, so in this here is just still just moving horizontally here, so it's not much action is happening in the Globex session right in here. Let's just see this real quick. What was happening on Russell on Thursday? I'm sorry. This is Monday. Yeah, Friday was a holiday, so there was no trading. But this is Thursday right in here, and you know even though there was a lot of volatility moving up and down, I mean, look at the sequence in here. I just want to show you this. So you could have just gotten in right on these golden signals right in here, and you could have gotten some really good profit in here. I don't have my midlines drawn in, but I can only imagine if you did have some of these midlines drawn in, that could have really helped out in in your trading right in here too. So yeah, I mean, like this right here is a really nice divergence trade right in here, and then moving down because at some point the trend is going to have to end, and it's ending right in this area going down, and then here you can see this transition, and you have some pullbacks in here. This is a bigger major pullback, and you can take your trade going down. So but if you guys trade these indices, then really give some of these other ones a chance. I might try out Russell coming up and see how that goes. Once again, this is even on Wednesday on Russell. Look at this. You have that nice transition right here. You have, these pullbacks, and you can just trade these things, to the upside. The EMAs are just fanned out going up right in here. So you can really see this moving along, and, you can look out for more divergence trades. So I'm going to end the session right here. I think it's a pretty good time. So if you guys have any questions, or if you want to contact us, there is information below in the description. And if you need to learn, if you want to learn more about our trading Oracle signals, leave us a message and we could get right back to you. So everyone, take care, have a great rest of the week, and we will catch you next time. Thank you.